we are moving onward to Sharath Kuruganty, where he heads the community and brand at Threado AI. And we already had a panel discussion with Pramrad Rao, so we've got Threado in the house for sure. Sharath previously led and nurtured community at world-class startups like Product Hunt and On Deck. I have so many friends that worked at On Deck from my remote year days. I love it. Sharath has successfully launched community programs, initiatives, led mastermind sessions, and hosted countless community events since tripping, I said that, into the community profession in 2018. During his time, he also grew his audience on X from 200 to 22,000. Okay. Someone else we want to know on how to work these socials because your girl doesn't know. Anyway, on the side, he loves building products. As a founder, he sold his SaaS startup Shout Out for 6 figures and built over 15 products. He also interviews ambitious people on the Undefeated Underdogs podcast. And with that, Sharath will share how to use community leverage to deliver stellar customer support. A talk sponsored by Better Mode. Hey, Sharath.
Hello, folks. First of all, I don't know how to follow up with that intro. Oh man, Victoria, you put me in a hard spot. But I'm actually very excited to be here and present, some of my thoughts on how to use community as a leverage to build or deliver great customer support. So let me actually start sharing my screen. Can you all see my screen? Thumbs up, Victoria or anybody. uh I can see. Yeah, I'll just like go ahead. Okay, so how to use community leverage to deliver great customer support. I think Victoria kind of covered my intro, so I'm going to skip this. Today I'm going to talk about 3 things: where to start building customer success through community, how to build a bridge between your customers and the community, and how to recruit champion users to great deliver like customer support. First of all, I want to kind of start off with this tweet I tweeted like months ago. Communities is powerful, and community delivers a lot of things. Tight feedback for your product, probably your next hire, and the most important thing is you'll understand, empathize, and build relationship with people. Ultimately building a sense of belonging with the folks, like-minded people, and your customers, future customers, or your present customers, and they will steer you in the direction. I think that's why I truly believe in the power of community. Throughout my career, community shaped me, so I'm your true example of all the things I believe in. But today, so let's talk about like where to start. In order to, like, I think there are many ways to build a community. I feel to connect with your customers, there are a few things that I kind of battle tested in my experience, and I think it worked. Online forums, use tools like Discourse or Circle, where you can bring like-minded folks together, and like they can do a lot of discussions in a way to help each other. Community platforms, you can build like branded communities, your own branded communities on top of Slack, Discord, where you can actually elevate them using channels, discussions again, to engage with them. And social media groups, let's not discard these this way, because I know nobody uses Facebook, but one of the strongest medium or channel to connect with your customers is Facebook, and it applies to a lot many people who are building like mom and pop shops and whatnot, like kind of take advantage of their local community. So Facebook groups, Twitter communities, that's a thing. It changed to X, but there is also like a third party community platforms like Reddit, Stack Overflow, Quora, and a lot of people rely on these because the knowledge base there, it's been generations of knowledge wealth that's been formulated by people. So that's where I would recommend people to start. How to build a bridge? uh, Again, there are multiple ways, but truly I believe is proactive, proactively doing things on your own in the beginning, and relying on customers or users, part of or community, to come forward to like do their fair share. So educational resources is a way where you can build tutorials or how to guides. You can host webinars, and as such record these sessions and build a base out of it, video content. And user generated content is very important. You will kind of involve the community and share their success stories, case studies, and whatnot. Discussion threads are really important when you build like a Slack or Discord community. Some of the things, some of the questions, some of the thought provoking questions that you ask your community, you never know, some of the answers are going to help build or solve someone else's problem. So it's really important to engage, foster those discussions. A couple of other things like surveys and polls needs a value here, because you kind of sense the pulse of how people are feeling about the community and the support they're getting, from your community or your product teams and whatnot. So definitely do that. That's a bridge to connect with your customers. And ultimately, I think build a knowledge base. Don't underestimate it. It takes a lot of time, but the things above I mentioned kind of helps you locate and store all the information, knowledge from the community, sources by the community, or created by your team under one place. It can be help docs. It can be using tools like Canny that source these information and knowledge, ultimately enabling self-service, which is a customer, a potential customer of yours can come, look at the knowledge base and get advantage of it. How to recruit champion users? That's like pretty open question, and everybody wants some of these champion users in their community. I feel the best way to do, in my experience, is to identify people who collaborate, contribute, create, as well as acknowledge each other. So these are the folks I feel I qualify them as super user. And you know Autodesk, there are like some phenomenal examples who did this very well, who used community members, championed them. HubSpot, Hub Fans is predominantly like an amazing example of advocacy super user programs. They have layers of Hub Fans right now, where they kind of differentiate from people who help contribute and level them in a way that encourages, kind of gamifies the system in a way that I, as a community member, uh, have more reasons to be proactive. So that follows by doing good recognition and giving them incentives and rewards. So give them swag. Some of the limited swag sometimes are dedicated to uh, your community members. Product Hunt is a master of this. When I was working at Product Hunt, we used to really handpick people who are like champion users. That to us, again, we have a qualification, and we used to like celebrate them. And the last thing I would say is, let the community involve them using events. You can be the source, you can be the moderator here, but let them be the ones who actually bring people together. So for example, you can help them make build AMAs or fireside chats, or like conferences like this. And HubSpot is a master of this. Like there are so many events that actually shaped HubSpot community, and ultimately build this really like tight knit people together, where they are the ones who actually deliver customer support in a great way. So ultimately, I would say the benefits of uh, community, leverage of community to deliver great customer support, it's 24/7 availability, right? Like you don't have to, as part of the company, you don't have to be there 24/7, because someone else from a different time zone, because of the community is diverse, they can address someone else's problem. And community is fundamentally one of the biggest channels to add value to your customers, through content, through events, through this belonging. Also, I think the knowledge base that you create, the content you create, 81%, this is like a stat from Harvard Business School, 81% of all customer problems generally get solved through self-service, because it's so community generated and it's so validated by the teams. You don't need like people really like being there. And you use these channels and community to actually leverage getting great feedback. That way you make a better product, you build better service for your company, and eventually elevate the sales. Ultimately, I think community is number one reason to grow customer loyalty. and brand recognition. Like the companies I mentioned, Stack Overflow, Apple. Even Apple has this amazing community led by community. There is no single person who's actually handling all the community initiatives in Apple, but it's all led by community. The forums there, Stack Overflow is an awesome example and whatnot. So those are some of the benefits I would say. That's why you should leverage the power of community to deliver great customer support. This applies for service companies, product companies, and whatnot. But I would like to end this presentation by saying, guys, community it to advantage, rely on it, and really kind of enhance it, and do with an intention. It's a safe space. Bring people where they feel home, right? Like-minded folks, and try to encourage the advocates and be part of the community in a way that even for people who are part of communities, do with intention. I think that's the biggest takeaway I would say. If you want one takeaway from this presentation, I would say communities are built with intention. So rely on it, and I think you'll have great success if you do it in the right way. And it's a long game. Be patient. But that's it. Any Q&A? Happy to take answer questions from you guys. But that's from my end.
Thanks, Sharath. That was great. We do have one question for you,
Sure.
and it's a personal one.
Hmm.
Who is an inspiration to you? And so from what the requester said is that someone like Tony Say, I'm not sure on the pronunciation, is an inspiration to the requester for giving great service alongside a great product. So
Right.
whether it's inspiration in your professional world or anywhere.
Mm. Oh man, I can go. I don't know if you have time, but I can go on and on because I have a huge list.
We have
I
time.
but I think fundamentally, when it comes to service mindedness, which is really important in my opinion, of or a skill, or a quality in a community builder, I seek that from Fred Rogers. He's one of the amazing people who by default wants to serve other people. So Fred Rogers is one. From a more professional standpoint, when it comes to community building, I think couple of names I want to drop for sure. David Spinks, the guy's a legend. Met him so many times. He's a mentor, friend. He helped me kind of understand the intentions, of building a community. The Business of Belong is an amazing book. Definitely read it. I think the second person I would say, Rosie Sherry. She's phenomenal. I think I treat her as more of like my big sister. I've seeked advice from her many times. She's the one who does things with probably is like zero expectations. That's why I think people love her. That's one thing I love. I kind of seek from her when it comes to community. Her philosophy is simple: do your job, get out of it. That's it. It's your role is to like do service and just come out of that initiative or community, whatever it is, and just move on to the next one. So learn from it, help other people, and move on. So David Spinks, definitely. Rosie Sherry for sure. And I think Ryan Hoover, one of the reasons I kind of preach Product Hunt is because, man, Product Hunt turned 10 years today. I think this couple days ago, and what a community! It shaped my entire life. The products I've built, everything. It showed me the power of community. That's why I fell in love in the first place, and I'm kind of turned that into a career. So, uh, yeah, a couple of names for me there.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Sharath. That was fantastic. And off the dome. I mean, I'm glad that question wasn't asked of me because that's a hard one, in my opinion. So thank you for having those
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
sharing that.